Okay, so just a minute. Yes. So we were discussing on the characteristics yesterday, and we already had a discussion on each and every characteristics in detail. So let us go towards some of the cloud service. Why cloud services are so very popular? What is the background that makes cloud services so beneficial for the end user? So the first thing that is there, that why cloud became so rapidly so very popular, because of its it reduces the complexity of the network. Now let us consider this example, like you have 50 employees working in your organization. So for all those 50 employees you need to create a LAN, local area network. That local area network might be connected to a metropolitan area network, or a wide area network, or a very wide area network. Okay, then you have to take care of the backup of those 50 computers. Then you have to take care of the upgradation of those 50 computers. Then you have to take the licensing of that 50 computers, and so on. So if for such 50 group of computer, the complexity in terms of handling it, in terms of manage providing network and other services is so high. Think about a situation where the companies are owning 5,000, like big companies, big giant companies, service providers, service providing companies have more than in a range of thousands. So when there are 1,000 computers, think from the software license point of view, they need to buy software license for each and every computer. But when you go with the cloud thing, you only need to pay for the cloud VM. You don't need to pay for any license, because the service provider will take this responsibility of taking care of the license part. He will buy the license, he will give you that particular virtual machine, and he will take care of its licensing and everything. Sometime there might be situation, if we are managing everything by our own, we might miss the dates, we might miss the upgradation of the license, we might miss the hosting service duration and all. So if you take it, or you give it to some third party company, they will definitely give you more benefits, is as good as putting a mediator in between our communication. This mediator will help us and guide us throughout the entire process. Now talking about cloud providers that have specialized in a particular area, can bring advanced services that a single company might not be able to afford or develop. For example, if you want to design a particular set of service that you want to own, like for example, you want to make audit as a service, or software testing as a service, or gaming as a service. So in that case, your company needs high expertise to do that. But in that case, you can definitely look forward for cloud service provider to design such services for you and provide it as a part. So previously, it was all about that in premises development was there, but now company look forward for some third party companies. So I'll tell you, this is an example, and I don't want to disclose the name of the company also. that there is a company which is very popular, and it is one of the most popular social networking company. So recently I heard that like 6 months back, 6 to 8 months back, the company stopped hiring the developers, and company given the entire work of development to an outsourcing company. So outsourcing is nowadays a kind of a trend where people don't want to invest in giving salary to developers. They are more into outsourcing it to some third party, where the third party company can develop, update, and give the new dispatched software to them. So this is what actually the trend is going on in terms of development. So people are more into now buying services, renting services over the online channel rather than developing services in premises. Now, apart from that, we have customization, scalability, reliability, and efficiency also that can be provided. So you can make customized version of the software that you are looking for. You might customize the software the way you want based on your requirement, and that can be a healthy choice. Like if you are designing a customized version, if you are having on owning a customized version of a software, then that customized version will be specifically designed for the users and the employees that you are owning. In that particular situation, it is very easy and convenient for you to work on with. So customization, scalability, reliability, and efficiency is one of the other popular reasons that cloud services became popular. And the information that you stored on cloud is highly maintained, so it's very difficult to like uh, your data might not be deleted. You will get your data somehow from any other source or channel. So these are some of the advantages of or making the cloud became so popular. These are some of the advantages that has been done so far, which has made cloud services so very popular. If you want to add into this list, the suggestions are welcome. Like you can say why you feel that cloud might have been popular or cloud might be popular based on this particular reason. You can add something to the list if somebody is having anything that you think that this might be the reason that cloud became popular. They can definitely discuss it here. Yes, anybody want to add anything to the list? Yes,
So I have a question.
yes.
So why do companies more depend on outsourcing rather than like doing it on their home ground? Wouldn't that be more secure and a better way to do deal with customizing and managing it?
The thing is, they need to pay salary. If you want to be a developer, what salary you will be expecting? Yes, yes, Tanmay.
Yes, sir.
What salary you will be expecting?
So that depends on the job I am doing it. Like if I am a backend developer, this after BC I would expect at around 30,000 maybe,
Okay.
because that's a normal salary what a backend developer gets. And if it is a full stack, maybe 40 or 45, according to the market. But sir, I would like to add one thing what just Akash said, that yeah, it will make it more secure. But nowadays, if if there are 50 developers in the whole company, like a mid cap company for a certain project or something like that, if there are 50 developers in the team, then still paying that particular salary to each and every developer depending on the particular job they are doing is much more costlier than just taking it by a consultancy firm or outsourcing it, right, sir?
Yes, what Akash was asking is if in premises development might be more secure. But the thing is, Akash, as I asked Tanmay if he is looking for a job, what kind of salary he'll be expecting, he said 40,000. Now he, being a fresher, he asked and demanded for that particular salary. Now imagine the salary that is being expected by the senior developers. Okay, then you have senior developer, then you have database administrator, then you have project manager, then you have testing team. So on each and every phase of software development, there are almost 2 to 3, 4 to 5 people working for making that particular project successful. So if a particular project requires 50% and 50% will complete the project in 1 year of the duration, and if we consider an average salary 50,000, then 50 multiplied by 50, and
100.
that, yes,
That 250.
yes, 50
Yeah.
yeah, 50 multiplied by 50, that is 2,500, and that 2,500 multiplied by like the 12, we can say, entire year. So this much salary will be only given to them. So if we say that the earning, like earning part will be like salary part will be more, earning part will be less. So to minimize this, what company do, they don't and there might be a thing. Let us say that I'll give you an example, just an example I'm giving. Let us say that there is a social networking company who is owning a social networking website. So he has already developed his site, he has already developed his product, app and everything. Okay, now it is working fine, going fine. Okay, so later on what has happened, that he realized that my developers are not having any job, because entire year there is no require of update. Only once in a year I need to have an update on this software. So why I should pay entire year salary to the developers? Rather, I'll have a maintenance team of 5 to 10 people. They will maintain the entire software. And whatever updates and new features I have to add in my software, I will outsource that. People will develop that additional feature, and this maintenance people will integrate it. That's it. So in that way, the companies reduces the number of employees who are looking for the developer. I hope this would have given you a clarity.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
hello.
Yes.
So one thing, like right now, not every business is going into the outsourcing process, right? Because if you just take an example of the banking or the financial sector, for example, maybe a company like HDFC or the financial sector is considered like WeWork. So these all companies, they have their own IT team, right, sir? But the companies like Big Basket and all, which are completely dependent on the e-businesses, so they have their systems all outsourced from the thing, right? From the companies like Accenture and all.
No, Tanmay, I'll let you know on that. Okay. See, first of all, you have projected this very good concept of banking sector. Now, banking sector being so very secure, they are looking forward for increasing their IT team because they want more number of people to take care on their software side. So nowadays, because of this online banking thing and integration of various products, they are always looking forward for a good set of people who can develop, maintain, and their jobs are like for long duration also. Like banking software people, like those who are joining banking software side, they are not actually looking forward for removing employees or looking not forward for
Yes, sir.
discontinuing the employees. They are hiring them from long term, like 20, 30 years of service. They are looking forward for people. Now talking about companies like e-commerce company. Now e-commerce companies also required daily update. on a daily basis, daily ground, they need update. So they also have a good team of people where software developers are required. But talking about companies which are actually looking forward for um, only a little bit service side, they don't want anything to be upgraded or developed on a daily or a routine basis time. So in that particular case, that is the major challenge, that is the major ground that they are looking forward to that. And in that particular thing, they don't want developers to be hired. For example, social networking companies are coming and going like this. Previously, when I started using social networking website, my first social networking website was Orkut. So Orkut was a product from Google. So I used Orkut web. Later on, Facebook came, but Facebook was not that much popular. But suddenly, in an year or two, Facebook became very popular. So now I can't name how many social companies are there, social networking companies. I can't even name them. This much social networking companies are there. So in future, see, people are developing product, launching them, making a brand, selling them, making a brand, selling them. Like that, it is going on. It is happening like that. So in that case, and some people, I'll tell you, some people, if I name few people, they don't know development also, but still they are owning their social networking companies. So how they are owning a social networking company without knowing development? They are just simply outsourcing it, giving money, buying building the product, making name. That's it. Some people are putting money in e-business, like online business and e-business. Like this things are going on. Every company who owns something are making their own website, making their own app uh, for driving down the things, like just to be in the market. They want to have something added as an IT part in their company, although their company doesn't require IT, but they want to, like that, because they want to be in the market. So such people are outsourcing the development part. Now schools and colleges application, they don't know, or they don't need development on a daily basis. So they will definitely give a contract to a company, they will develop the software and they will provide the services. Yes, Tanmay, you want to say something?
Yes, one thing just that is the banking systems again. Uh, those as the for the banking or the financial sector, the most valuable thing is data.
Hmm.
So they will just if they outsource also for any system or the software, they will need a complete maintenance team to look behind that and maintain that particular data, right, sir, with the
Hmm.
software. So
Hmm.
that won't go away easily in at least in the next 5 to 10 years, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so that can solve the problem, like just outsourcing it and getting the things done.
Banking sector can't do that. You are saying
Okay.
banking sector to outsource thing, na?
No, no, I am saying, sir, behind beside outsourcing things, if
Hmm.
there because if there are some companies, if like I recently just read about WeWork, they like outsource the things from Capgemini, and they also have a complete maintenance team for the IT to maintain the software and all. So that can make the whole system or the software more secure, right? If there are the employees of the IT team, in-house IT team, make it more secure.
Yeah, definitely they will make it more secure, but do actually security is required for their products? That is a concern.
Okay. Okay, sir, got it. Thank you, sir.
I'll tell you, I was involved in one of the government projects also. Sometime I have participated in government projects also. Now, military related things are super highly confidential thing. So in that case, they don't develop it from some other parties. They have their research development wing where they are developing. Okay. And the reason why I am discussing on the opportunities in terms of software and cloud-based development is that so that you should be aware like what will be the future that you have to decide as a part of career. So these all points are very crucial and very whatever discussion that we had are very crucial and very important from the future point of view, like where you want to go and what you want to do. That will help you to do that. Now, benefit of
Yes,
cloud.
sir.
Yes. Now let us move
Thank you
towards the
so much, sir.
benefit of. Yes, yes. Let us move ahead on the benefits of cloud. So when we talk about the benefits of the cloud, it reduce spending on technology because see, currently you bought a new server. That server might cost around 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore, something like that. You completed a project on that server, but you might realize that in 5 to 10 years, uh, that server got of no use to you because you need some updated hardware uh, for the new project. Now server is not a device you can send over Ola, like OLX, sorry, not Ola, OLX. You can't send server on OLX because your server might be having all the crucial project related information, hard disk and everything as having. So you can't sell it like that. It will be a dead device which is there in your company for a longer time. And it is something which is very very crucial. Like you can see that you can't you have to keep it and you can't throw it also like that. You will be in a situation where you have to keep it and you can't throw it also. So in that particular situation, what you will do, like what will be your attitude towards the hardware? Your company has to give some space for keeping that hardware. On the other hand, if you are buying or renting that particular server online, that time you don't have the responsibility like uh, to maintain or to do it in some other way. Like you don't have to actually take care of such things. So it will definitely reduce the spending cost or the primary cost that is actually required for such things. Now, globalize your workforce on a chip. So you can have a global level development workforce which can which can actually which can actually help you to make your workforce better way. Like when it is cloud, you have a centralized access to the system and centralized access to the server. That time what will happen is cloud can be accessible from anywhere. So you don't need to do or you don't need to have to take any efforts if there is more number of employees adding in your company or more number of people using your application. So that will definitely help. So your workforce can be maximized and minimized based on the requirement. Reduce the capital cost. Now, capital cost is something which is an initial investment that one need to do or one need to take or one need to invest when he is starting a business. So let us see that if you want to start a company and you want to give you want to have 100 developers. For 100 developers you need 100 PC. So 50,000 if we fix the cost, then 50,000 multiplied by 100. So you can simply understand that if this is this much the cost that people are like looking forward for spending, then it's too much, very much cost. So in that case, if you can definitely have 100 virtual machines that can be given to your employees, and with a very low end devices also, they can access those virtual machine and they can actually work on that. So with thin clients also, so investment of the initial cost will be almost 50 to 60% lesser when you go with cloud. It improves accessibility, like you can have better feasibility and accessibility. You can use it from your home, you can use it from your office, you can use it from any place. Even while traveling also you can have the access on it. Even you on your mobile device you can monitor the things. So this is what actually the feasibility and accessibility in terms. Less personal training is needed
So
because
how does it reduce capital cost? I mean, is it more costly to this thing like work with the cloud or work with the physical machine?
work with the physical machine is more costlier than working with cloud. Cloud is cheaper. I'll tell you, Dale, if you want to hire 10 employees, okay, so you need to give high performing computing system to those 10 employees, right? So if you give them, for example, a good configuration, it will cost 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees. So 10 lakh rupees you need to spend on 10 employees for giving them resources. On the other hand, if you buy 10 thin client, then the thin client won't cost more than 10,000 each, including monitor, keyboard, and thin client. So in 1 lakh, you will buy the hardware for 10 people, 10,000 each. So 10,000 plus 10,000, like for 10 employees, it will be 1 lakh. And you can take high powerful systems, virtual machines on rent. That rent would be around $10 per PC per VM, or $20 per VM per month. Then it will goes around like per month you will be spending a lesser cost in terms of rent. So for 1 year or 2 years, your rent will be not more than 3-4 lakh. So 3-4 lakh plus the 1 lakh thin clients that you bought. So in 5 lakh you have started your business. On the other hand, if you have bought everything physically, then you have to spend 10 lakh. So in terms of cloud, you have reduced the capital cost. Do you got it, Dale, now? Dale? I think he's not audible. Now, monitor project more effectively, since it is cloud, and you might also have the credentials to access any virtual machine. You can definitely go as a CEO or a CTO. You can definitely monitor each and everyone's progress on his machine by taking access of the entire system, and achieve economy of scale. Like you definitely go in hand in terms of better financial management and better economical management when you go with cloud, because with cloud there are opportunities will come where you can make the most out of investing the less. So these are some of the benefits that cloud is providing. Talking about the security in cloud, cloud comes with security and privacy, complete security and privacy management. The data which is stored on the cloud is highly encrypted, depending on the service provider, but most of the companies prefer to uh, secure it with encryption standard. So more or less, if somehow your data got leaked also, it requires a high standard encryption mechanism to retain that particular data, get that particular exact data what people are looking for. Second is identity management. So have you heard about this SSO, single sign on? Have you heard about single sign on? Anyone is having any idea on single sign on?
No, sir.
Okay, so let me give you an example. Mm, can I see raise hands? How many of you use Facebook app on their mobile phone? Can I see raise hands if you're using a Facebook application? Only two people? Okay. Can I see raise hands if you're using an Instagram account on your mobile phone? Okay. Okay, so I can see now most of the people are more into using Instagram over Facebook. So if I'm saying that if you're using an Instagram account app on your mobile phone, do you have to put your username and password every time to log into your Instagram through app?
No, sir.
No, sir.
And on a web browser,
No, sir.
No, sir.
on web browser, on desktop web browser, you don't need to type username and password.
No.
On an active session, you don't have to active session cookies.
No, my concern is if I want to log into my Facebook account on a laptop or desktop, anywhere. I am not talking about saving the password in the saved password feature. I am saying that if I go to any laptop or any desktop, I type facebook.com. Do I need to have a password? I need to put a password?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Definitely yes, because there are two things for login purpose. I'll tell you. This is very crucial information. You might have observed it, but you don't know the reason why it is there. So when you go to any desktop, and you type www.facebook.com, then you need to provide your identity. Like you need to provide your username and password, because desktop and laptops are not personal devices. Anyone can come and anyone can use it, right? But mobile seems to be a personalized device. You can give your mobile to someone just for a second, 1 minute or 2 minutes, like that. But mobile is a personal device. We can't say that ki mobile is a multi-user device. 10 people are using one mobile phone. No, but a desktop and a laptop can be used. You can share your desktop with your brother or cousin. Your laptop can be shared. Sometime your brother or cousin want to work on your laptop, they might borrow it for 2-3 hours. So technically speaking, laptop and desktops doesn't comes in the category of personalized devices. On the other hand, mobile falls under the personalized devices category. So when you use,
But laptop are like also can be like very mobile, yeah.
laptops are mobile, but they are not personalized, we can say. But mobile phones are more mobile and they are more personalized in comparison to laptop. They are smaller in size and only you will be responsible to use and access it. So when I talk about the mobile device, when I talk about mobile phone, then you don't need to use username and password every time you open Instagram or Facebook app, because you are going with SSO, that is single sign on. With the help of single sign on, you are always signed out in your account through that particular device only. Through that device only. Can I see raise hands who all are using Apple phone? iPhone, Apple phone. Okay, so I can see 3-4 people. So I'll ask a question to Avi. Have you logged into your iCloud account? Have you ever logged into
Yes,
your?
sir.
So what kind of interface you get when you logged into your iCloud account?
So, we get everything like photos and whatever it is stored in the iCloud account, like photos and every document that I have saved in that, and whichever data that I have saved, everything comes in different tabs.
Yes. Now, if I talk about saving data or anything like that, do it shows the model number, mobile number, or a mobile model number from where you are accessing it?
Yes, sir, it sends a notification or our email ID that
Mhm.
we have logged in from desktop or from any other device.
Okay. I'll ask a similar question to Devraj. Devraj, do Google let you know that from which devices you are logged in and what mobile model you are logged in with.
Yes, sir, it does. It's the same thing. It sends you an email.
Yeah, it's on the email. Like for iCloud, it is iCloud ID, and for Google, it is the Gmail ID, right?
Right.
Now in that case, company is maintaining your sessions 24/7 with a particular personalized device. So if you are connected with a mobile phone 24/7, then that particular lock-in mechanism is called as SSO, that is single sign-on. You need to provide your username and password once, and your session will be active 24/7 for that particular account. Yes, it even sends the IP address. Correct. Correct, Anubhav. IP addresses and everything can be there. And Rohit also said mail, pics, backup, everything is there on the iCloud. So see, it's very simple. It's very, very simple that when we are taking login in our account can be accessed in two modes. Either it can be a temporary login with a web browser, or it can be a long duration login with a single sign on. Even locations are also monitored. Correct. So single sign-on provides this long-term login facility for your personalized devices. So single sign-on is mostly for personalized devices for a longer duration. Okay. So that is a part of the security. So availability also we can say when it comes to cloud, your data is available to you. And application security also we can say privacy and legal issues all can be taken care in terms of better management of the security in the cloud. Basically cloud provides security in variety of dimensions, like there are various ways of safeguarding and securing your system, and that is what actually cloud provides. You can go through the list which is there on the screen and just observe the cloud security dimensions, and if anybody is having any doubt, please do ask.
So,
Hmm?
so this SSO comes in security, application security, privacy, everything.
Yeah, SSO is a part of single sign-on mechanism. It's a part of identity management.
Okay, so it can be a part of security also.
We can say identity management is a part of security, because identity management, what do identity management take care of your identity on a system, and iPhone and Google uses two-way authentication mechanism.
Yes, sir.
So
And
if you are logged in from any different device, it will definitely ask from where you're logged in, whether it's correct or not, like that.
okay, so and so one more thing in benefits of cloud,
Hmm.
what is less personal training is needed.
Benefits of cloud means this one.
Yes, so this slide, less personal training is needed.
Uh,
What
you
what was
you
that?
don't see, you are accessing a virtual machine, and that virtual machine is as good as the machines that we have used on our day-to-day basis. So you don't need any extra skills to access data over cloud. That's it.
Okay, so
So less personal training means like for learning a new technology, you need to provide training to your employees, right?
yes, so
So in that case, here it is like less personal training is required. Okay. Yes, Tanmay, you want to ask anything?
No, sorry, sir. I was unaware too.
Yes, I would like to open the session for a good discussion. If anybody is having any doubts, they can do ask it.
So